In the small, quiet town of Green Hollow, life moved at a leisurely pace. The townsfolk were content with their simple lives, save for a few who yearned for more. Desperate for a change, Ethan decided to try one of the spells. He chose a simple incantation that required a few common ingredients: a silver coin, a piece of green cloth, and a pinch of salt. Late one night, he performed the ritual, reciting the words with a mix of hope and trepidation. To his amazement, the spell seemed to work. The next day, he found a large sum of money in his mailbox, with no explanation as to where it had come from. Overwhelmed with excitement, Ethan believed his luck had finally changed. He quit his job at the factory and began living the life he had always dreamed of. However, it wasn't long before strange things started happening. Ethan's good fortune seemed to come at a cost. He began to experience bizarre occurrences, objects moving on their own, shadows lurking in the corners of his vision, and unsettling dreams of a dark presence watching him. Despite the eerie signs, Ethan continued to rely on the money spells. With each new incantation, his wealth grew, but so did the sense of dread that hung over him. The more he used the spells, the more his life began to unravel. One evening, as he prepared to cast yet another spell, a voice echoed through his mind. "Beware the price of greed," it whispered. Startled, Ethan looked around but saw no one. Dismissing it as his imagination, he continued with the ritual. The next morning, Ethan awoke to find that his bank accounts had been frozen, and his possessions had started to vanish one by one. Panicked, he realized that the spells were backfiring. The wealth he had gained was slipping through his fingers, leaving him with nothing but fear and uncertainty. As the days passed, Ethan's situation grew increasingly dire. He became paranoid, convinced that the dark presence from his dreams was real and growing stronger. He sought help from friends and family, but they were unable to see the malevolent force that haunted him. Desperate to break free from the curse, Ethan returned to the old bookshop in search of answers. The shopkeeper, an elderly woman with a knowing gaze, seemed to recognize his plight. "You've been meddling with dark magic," she said, her voice heavy with regret. "The spells you cast are cursed, and they've brought ruin upon you." Ethan begged for her help, willing to do anything to reverse the damage. The shopkeeper handed him a small, blackened amulet. "This is a protective talisman," she explained. "It will help shield you from the dark forces, but it won't break the curse. To do that, you must atone for your greed and find a way to make things right." The rituals took a toll on Ethan, both physically and emotionally. He grew weaker with each spell he reversed, but he pressed on, determined to break free from the curse. As he completed the final ritual, the dark presence manifested before him, a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. "You cannot escape the price of greed," the figure hissed. "The magic you sought has claimed your soul." Ethan stood his ground, clutching the protective talisman. "I won't let you take me," he said, his voice filled with resolve. "I've atoned for my greed and made things right. The curse ends here." With a final, powerful incantation, Ethan banished the dark presence, feeling its grip on him weaken and dissolve. The air grew still, and the sense of dread that had plagued him for so long finally lifted. With the curse broken, Ethan began to rebuild his life. He returned to the factory, humbled by his experiences and grateful for the chance to start over. Though he had lost his wealth, he had gained something far more valuable: a deeper understanding of the dangers of greed and the importance of integrity. Ethan's journey of redemption inspired others in Green Hollow, and the story of the cursed money spells became a cautionary tale for the townsfolk. They learned to appreciate the value of hard work and honest living, avoiding the temptations of dark magic and quick fixes. As for Ethan, he found peace in his newfound purpose, dedicating himself to helping others and living a life of humility and kindness. The dark presence that had once haunted him was gone, replaced by a sense of hope and renewal. Years passed, and Ethan's story became a legend in Green Hollow, whispered among the townsfolk and passed down through generations. The tale of the young man who had sought wealth through dark magic, only to learn the true cost of his actions, became a cautionary tale that was told around campfires, in classrooms, and within families. It served as a powerful reminder of the dangers of greed and the consequences of meddling with forces beyond one's understanding. Ethan himself became a revered figure in the town, not for the wealth he had once possessed, but for the strength and integrity he had shown in the face of adversity. He was known for his unwavering commitment to living a life of humility and kindness, and his story inspired others to do the same. As Ethan grew older, he dedicated himself to helping those in need, using his experiences to guide others away from the temptations of dark magic and quick fixes. He established a community center where he taught workshops on financial literacy, hard work, and the value of integrity. He also offered support and counseling to those who had fallen on hard times, sharing his own journey of redemption as a source of hope and encouragement. The community center became a beacon of light in Green Hollow, a place where people could come together to learn, grow, and support one another. Ethan's story was emblazoned on a plaque at the entrance, serving as a constant reminder of the lessons he had learned and the price he had paid for his actions. As the years went by, Ethan's impact on the town grew even stronger. The townsfolk, inspired by his example, began to prioritize honesty, hard work, and community over the pursuit of wealth and material possessions. The sense of unity and shared purpose that blossomed in Green Hollow transformed the town into a place of compassion and generosity. As the years went by, Ethan's impact on the town grew even stronger. The townsfolk, inspired by his example, began to prioritize honesty, hard work, and community over the pursuit of wealth and material possessions. The sense of unity and shared purpose that blossomed in Green Hollow transformed the town into a place of compassion and generosity. Ethan's legacy also reached beyond the borders of Green Hollow. News of his story spread to neighboring towns and cities, attracting visitors who were curious to learn about the man who had turned his life around and brought positive change to his community. Ethan welcomed these visitors with open arms, sharing his experiences and offering guidance to those who sought it. One particularly memorable visitor was a young woman named Rachel, who had been struggling with financial troubles and the temptation to use dark magic to solve her problems. After hearing Ethan's story, she sought him out, hoping to find a different path. Ethan took her under his wing, teaching her the importance of perseverance, integrity, and the value of honest work. With his support, Rachel was able to overcome her challenges and build a stable, fulfilling life for herself. As Ethan entered the twilight years of his life, he looked back on his journey with a sense of peace and fulfillment. He had faced unimaginable darkness, and had emerged stronger for it. The dark presence that had once haunted him was now a distant memory, replaced by the warmth and love of a community he had helped to build. On his final day, surrounded by friends and family, Ethan shared one last piece of wisdom with those who had gathered to honor him. "Remember," he said, his voice filled with warmth and conviction, "true wealth isn't measured by what you have, but by the impact you make on the lives of others. Choose kindness, integrity, and love, and you will always be rich beyond measure." Ethan passed away peacefully, leaving behind a legacy that would endure for generations. His story continued to inspire and guide those who heard it, reminding them of the dangers of greed and the transformative power of redemption. Green Hollow thrived as a community built on the values he had championed, a place where people supported one another and cherished the lessons learned from Ethan's journey. In the end, the legacy of the cursed money spells was not one of darkness and despair, but of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest challenges. Ethan's life was a testament to the idea that no matter how far one might fall, there is always a path to redemption and a chance to make things right. And so, the story of Ethan and the cursed money spells became a cherished part of Green Hollow's history, a beacon of light in the darkest of times, and a reminder that true wealth lies in the strength of the human heart and the connections we build with one another. If you enjoyed this gripping and cautionary tale, and want more engaging stories and content, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you stories that ignite your imagination and keep you on the edge of your seat. Thank you for being part of our storytelling community.